हेलो, नमस्कार, वड़कम, सत श्री अकाल, आदाब। बचपन के पिटारे से के इस नए एपिसोड में आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, हम भारतीय भाषाओं का उत्सव मना रहे हैं। एंड टुडे शारदा संपत कुमार, a storyteller from Bangalore, is joining us for the celebration of Indian languages. Sharda and I had met a few months ago and we had attended an event to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Bangalore Storytelling Society, and we could instantly bond over for the love of stories. And one more thing was in common for both of us, because as many people know, traveling in Bangalore is something very, very difficult. And because Sharda and I live in the same area, it was easy for us to commute from there. So this was one more thing that we could spend time over and bond over, that finally, okay, we have got someone who lives near us. Sharda has been doing storytelling since a long time. She also runs TERP program for children. She has been a voracious reader and she loves to impart the love for reading to her audience. And she uses the technique of storytelling to kickstart the reading journey inside the child. And we will learn more about her from Sharda herself. Let me welcome Sharda Sampat Kumar. Welcome Sharda. Thank you so much for coming to Bachpan ke Pitare Se.
Thank you, Bachpan ke Pitare Se.
Sharda, it's so good to see you always busy taking sessions for little kids. I'm curious to know, have you always been into storytelling? Please share your journey of storytelling with us.
Storytelling has been a beautiful journey for me. I was a teacher during my early days when I used to go to the school with my children. And I used to teach a lot of classes. And I realized that when I started teaching these little ones, I had a natural flair for storytelling. I was able to connect to every subject or topic that I taught through storytelling. And this made it an enjoyable experience, not only for me, but also for the children. And slowly, that was how my journey of storytelling kick-started.
So good to know about your storytelling journey, Sharda. I can so connect to it, na? And it's a different experience altogether when you narrate a story, children respond, and then they ask you questions, and then it becomes a whole story again, a different story. Okay, so let's continue enjoying our stories. So, which story have you brought for us today, Sharda? And from which part of country?
We are celebrating the beautiful state of Karnataka, Karunadu. You know what? Karnataka is such a wonderful state which is filled with stories and histories and mythologies. And the grandness and splendor and the art and culture of Karnataka has to be seen. So today I am going to share with you the story of a sculptor called Jakanna. And this sculptor was living during the reign of the Hoysala Empire. So if you can go to Halebeedu and the temples of Halebeedu and the Chennakeshava Swami temple, you can see the beauty of his work.
I so much agree with you, Sharda. Karnataka is such a grand state with so many diverse things, beautiful, amazing things around us. And one of them being the local language, Kannada, and has so many dialects. But I would like to highlight one thing about Kannada, that this is the only Indian language which has a dictionary written by a foreigner. And I can so much connect to Kannada because the syllables or the vowels or what we call as swaras or vyanjanas, the letters are so similar to what we have in Hindi. But yes, these are just two simple facts about Kannada, but there is so much more to this beautiful, amazing language. But let's continue, and I'm so eager to know what story have you brought for us today. The stage is all yours. Please go ahead.
This is a story adaptation from the works of Sri R.K. Narayan, the prestigious author who lived in Karnataka. पशूनां पथिं पापनाशं परेशम् गजेन्द्रस्य कृत्तिं वसानं वरेण्यम् झटाझूटमध्ये स्फुरद्गाङ्गवारिम् महादेवम् एकं स्मरामि स्मरारिम् महेशं सुरेशं सुराराधिनाशम् विभुं विश्वनाथं विभूत्येङ्गभूषम् विरूपाक्षम् इन्द्रार्कवाणी त्रिनेत्रम् सदानन्दम् ईडे प्रभुं पञ्चवक्त्रम् ॐ नमः शिवाय। The temple of Belur was nearly ready. At the next full moon, it was to be consecrated and opened for worship. The old sculptor Jakanna Chari was working on the main image of the temple in the inner shrine. He spoke to no one and tolerated no interruption. As he was working, he noticed a shadow falling on the wall. He had ordered that no one was to be allowed to disturb him. He turned sharply with a curse on his lip. But he swallowed the curse quickly, fell down and touched the floor with his forehead. The king had come in noiselessly. "You go on with your work," said the king. "I obey," said the sculptor. He was working on the drapery of the image. The king watched the image, fascinated as godliness grew upon it with each stroke. There was grace in its eyes and protection in its gesture. The king said, "Jakanna Charya, I am longing for the day when I may offer worship to this Keshava. When will you finish your work?" "Sire, by God's grace, I hope to finish the work by full moon." When the king left, the old sculptor, plying his delicate chisel, conjured up a vision of the day of consecration. At the auspicious moment, while the priests chanted and smoke curled up from the sacred fire, he would place the god on his pedestal. He could almost hear now the babble of voices, and the king stood on the threshold of the shrine with the minister beside him, having arrived in state on his elephant. People from all over the empire were crowding in for the occasion. As the image was fixed to its pedestal, a great cry of joy went up from the crowd, and the king presented the sculptor with a gold bracelet. Jakanna Chari did not break off for food at noon that day. In the ecstasy of the vision, He forgot hunger. Someone had the kindness to remind him. He merely replied, "Get out and don't talk to me." A little later, he turned from the image and was annoyed to see someone standing at the doorway and watching the image. "Go away," said the sculptor. "Yes, I will go away as soon as I have seen as much of the image as I like." "Oh, who may you be?" "I am a wanderer. I happened to pass this way and dropped in to have a look at the temple." "Get away, or I will have you pushed out. No one should see this before it is completed." "I am interested in stone. I can do a little work myself." "Oh, you are a master, are you?" "I don't say that, but ever since I can remember, I have loved stones." "You are an upstart. Now let me see nothing more of you," said the old man. "Say what you like," replied the stranger. "I have gone around and seen all that is to be seen. The pillars are divine. The figures on the outer walls are the work of a godly hand. This temple will be remembered for the coming generations as the greatest." "Hear me fully," said the young man. "I am not speaking now to flatter you. I am merely expressing a fact. I say once again that all that you have done so far is wonderful, except—" Now the old sculptor pricked up his ears and cried, "Except what?" "Except what?" "Except the work you are doing now." The old man picked up his mallet and flourished it at the intruder. "I will smash your skull if you speak any more." "At your age, you must have greater self-possession," said the young man. "I am not saying that your work is bad, but your choice of stone is unlucky." "Your words are inauspicious," said the old man. "With that stone, you could make a figure for a gateway, but not the main god of an inner shrine. After all, the tens and thousands of carvings and decorations are only a setting for the main image, and its stone should have the utmost purity. Now, this stone has a flaw, and the image is unfit for worship and consecration. Oh, will no one drag this man away? His words are inauspicious." "I am merely warning you with the best of motives. Don't get angry." "I repeat, this stone has a flaw, and I am surprised that a man of your experience did not notice it." "Young fool, you don't know what you are saying. See this arm. It has chipped and carved 50,000 forms of God." "But I swear I will cut this off if you prove what you are saying." The stranger replied, "Don't say such serious things. I merely said something about the stone because I thought you might like to hear it. Take it for what it is worth. Don't do such a terrible thing." "No, you shall prove it." "I will prove it, but not if you are going to cut off your arm. I will even say where the flaw is." "Where?" "Around the navel of this image." "Young man, I will tell you the king. I will tell the king and have you put in chains if you don't get out this moment." "All right, I will go," said the young man and turned to go. While crossing the courtyard, he turned around and shouted, "I'm going, but bear in mind my warning." The old man ran after him, gripped his arm, and said, "Stop now, I will not let you go." He yelled for everyone in the place. A crowd gathered. He told the crowd, "This young fool holds that Keshava is made of a stone which has a flaw. If he proves it, I will cut off my right arm. If he does not, I will cut off his arm and make him ride on a donkey. The stranger said, I refuse to prove anything. Now let me go. The old sculptor held him by the arm and said, either you prove what you have said, or I will chop off your arm and haul you up on a donkey. Though if I tell the king, he will chop off your head. All right, said the stranger, I accept the challenge. Don't blame me afterwards. Will someone bring me a little paste of sandalwood? It was brought. He said, may I go near the image? Yes, you may. The young man walked into the shrine with the sculptor, the crowd following them. The image stood leaning on a block of stone, looking on all this scene of strife with an unruffled calm. The stranger asked, may I touch it? No, said the old man. What do you want to do? I want the sandal paste to be smeared over the image from the chest down. Will you do it? The old man smeared the sandal paste as he was directed. Now watch it, said the stranger. The paste dried quickly and stood out in whitish flakes. Which has it proved? Asked the crowd derisively. Has the sandal paste dried all over? Asked the young man. Yes. See near the navel of the image, said the young man, and where he pointed there was a wet patch, the circumference of a little coin. It is still wet, said someone. Do you want to watch it till it dries up? Yes. Then you may spend the rest of your life watching it, but it won't dry. Because underneath there is a cavity with water, and in that water there may be a toad living. The sculptor said grimly, I have never allowed anyone to touch my implements. But I am about to break that habit now because I may have no more use for them henceforth. Here, take my mallet, chisel, and break that navel. Show me what is inside. The young man was reluctant at first to break the idol, but the sculptor was insistent. The young man held the chisel with a deft stroke, hit out a circular flake at the navel. The little water flowed out, and out peeped a very baffled toad. The sculptor said, my career is over. I wish I had never been born. In that crowd there was a guard with a sword in his belt. The old man snatched it off. Now I fulfill my vow and gladly do it. I have no use for this arm. The young stranger wrenched his wrist till he dropped the sword. You will not do it. When I came here, it was to see all this work and learn whatever there is to be learnt. I did not come here to deprive you of your arm. Now I will be going. He appealed to those around him. Please see that he does no violence to himself. He added, my purpose was only to prevent the consecration and worship of a toad. Please watch this old man. He turned to go. Jakanna Chari called him and said, I admire your feeling for stone. God bless you. Where do you come from? My home is in Kridapura, said the stranger. Kridapura? Repeated the old man and became reflective. Kridapura? Who are you? Who is your father? I don't know. I am in search of him, said the stranger. Oh, tell me more about yourself, said Jakanna Chari. The stranger cried, when I was yet unborn. This is a month before I was born. My father left home one evening and never returned. What was his name? Krishna Deva, replied the stranger. The sculptor said, listen now. I will tell you something I know. I it was very good of your mother to send you to search for the old absconder, considering the manner in which he left. But this is to be said for him. He had a life of dedication before him, a life in the service of God. He saw it in a vision, the choice between family attachments and utter dedication. There was no middle way. He made his choice abruptly and uncompromisingly, the only way in which any choice in life can be made. And he never looked back with regret because gods above and kings below have been kind. You know so much about him, said the stranger. Yes, because Krishna Deva concealed himself behind a new name, Jakanna Chari. An hour later, he said, my son, now take me home. My career is over. I may not cut off my arm, but I will never touch my chisel and mallet. When my eyes and hands cannot discriminate between stone and stone, it is time to put down the chisel and wait for death. The sculptor returned to Kridapura with all the comfort he could derive from regaining home and family. He was secretly very unhappy, for he was essentially a creature who throve on his art. And the self imposed separation from his work was agonizing. He would have withered away and died of this want, like a plant kept away from sunlight but for a dream. He had a few months after his return. He was commanded to build a temple in Kridapura and dedicate it to Keshava. He obeyed his command and built the temple and a number of others along with it. After this, the name of the place was changed from Kridapura to Kaidhala, which means the restored arm. Today, Kaidhala is an obscure little village a few miles off Tumkur. It is said to have been the capital of a state at one time. Nothing of that ancient glory is now left, except the temple with its magnificent Keshava, which stands even today to commemorate the resurrection of an artist. The magnificent temples of Hoysala at Halebidu, with their intricate carvings and mesmerizing beauty, stand as a testament to the power of devotion, dedication, and acceptance of imperfection. This is the story of the great sculptor Jakanna.
Thank you so much, Sharda, for bringing out the story of Jakanna. I was not aware of it, and I'm sure many people are not aware of it. And it's so beautiful, and it's so important for us to know our roots. And thanks to authors like R.K. Narayan, who have done such great work, and thanks to you for bringing out the story. And moving ahead in the episode, please share your social media handles so that people can follow your work.
Thank you so much for accommodating me and my story narration in your beautiful channel called Bachpan Ke Pitare Se. And you can follow me. I am called Sharada Sampat Kumar. The same name is my Instagram handle, my YouTube channel, and my Facebook profile.
The pleasure is mine, Sharda, to have you here on this platform. And with this, I would like to close this episode here. And I'll be back with another interesting episode, another beautiful Indian language very soon. Till then, take real good care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay happy, and keep listening to Bachpan Ke Pitare Se, and hardly 20 more listens, and it will make 10,000 listens of Bachpan Ke Pitare Se. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.